Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Heather. I am our customer success manager here at Sendible. And today we are going to be talking about a very exciting update regarding our Facebook quick reports. So for today's session, I'm going to take us through those updates, talk a little bit about why we made the updates and what they look like. And then at the end of the session, we will invite Sarah from our support team on, and she's going to help us with some questions. So any questions that you have, please go ahead and feel free to save those throughout the session, and we will be sure to hit them at the end. Hi, Shanaz. Hi, Peter. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Denise. Awesome. We'll just give everyone here a minute to jump on. So again, as I mentioned, Sarah, who just said hi, she'll go ahead and jump in at the end of the session and join us for those questions live. For any questions that do come out, if I could just ask you to please keep them relevant to Facebook, our Facebook quick report. That way we make sure we have enough time to cover all of the questions that come through and they're relevant to today's topic. For any questions that you do have, if you can please go ahead and submit them into the question box, which I see a lot of people using the chat. So you're probably seeing that notification go off if you're getting chat messages. Next to the chat, you're going to see something that says questions. And within that question box, you can actually submit your questions. And if you can submit them there, that will just help us to make sure we don't miss anything within the chat if there's other conversation going on. Awesome, so that will be great. And to get us started today, always love to do a fun icebreaker. So to keep it lighthearted, we're gonna go ahead and, let me just turn this on really quick, sorry. We're gonna go ahead and ask our icebreaker today is if, or to please select an emoji that corresponds with your current state of mind. So one emoji really about like how you're feeling or your mindset right now. And you should in the chat see the little emoji icon that you can just go ahead and select and put it in. I'll put mine in as well. Yay, love the sunshine. That's awesome. Perfect. Awesome. And you'll also notice that Peter did submit something into the question tab so that you can go ahead and ask your questions there. I apologize for the notifications. It doesn't seem to be letting me turn them off today for some reason. So apologize that those will be going off, but we will try to work through it. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to first talk about why did we make these updates. Look at these emojis. Oh no, Janelle, I hope you feel better if that's a sick face. Christmas tree, yay. Awesome. So please continue submitting your emojis in there. That's great. But to get us started, I wanted to just briefly touch on why have we made these updates to the Facebook quick report. And really our goal behind these updates is to increase the trust that you have with your clients or stakeholders, anyone who's really reviewing these different metrics, and also to better align with Facebook insights. We want to make sure that you understand the metrics that you're looking at, they're accurate, and you feel confident in sharing them. So that was the goal behind this update. So what I'm going to do is actually jump into my Sendible demo account and take us through a few of these different updates that we've made. And I really, truly hope that you guys found all of these to be exciting because it's a big update for us and something that we've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. And as I'm doing so, I do want to mention that the updates that I'm referencing today are specific to the Facebook quick report within Sendible. So while I pull that up now, second here. You should be able to see my screen. Let's just make sure, perfect. You can see it all right, all looks good. So I'm referring to the Facebook quick report. And what I mean when I say that is I'm here in my reports hub. So I've just gone from reports to reports hub, and you'll see it says Facebook page. So this is how you're gonna access your Facebook quick report. And when I talk about a quick report, what I'm meaning is we have different quick reports here, which are really pre-built reports, which provide you kind of modules that have already been added in. And all we need you to do is select the profile and generate the report. And that's going to go ahead and pull in this pre-built, almost templated report for you. So all of the updates that I talk about today are relevant to the Facebook quick report here on my screen. Now, again, just a reminder, please feel free to go ahead and submit your questions into the question box, which is just right next to that chat. But you guys have been awesome in adding your emojis too. And we'll be sure to get to those questions at the end of the session. All right, so just coming back here, let's dive into some of these updates. So the first update that I want to talk about is a really exciting one, and I think a lot of people are going to love it, is that we've made an update to around the date ranges that you're able to pull data for on a Facebook report. So previously, there was a limitation within Sendible that was related to Facebook reporting, where you could only retrieve data in 1, 7, or 28-day increments. What that looked like was if you try to pull a report for the last 30 days, it was going to give you data for the most recent 28 days. So if I came in here and I filtered the date and I said last 30 days, and I ran this report, here where it says Facebook activity overview, it would actually say 28 days here, because we were only able to pull in the information for the last 28 days at that time. That limitation has been removed, which is awesome. You are now able to come into this quick report, generate it. You can come into your filter date option here, and you'll have quite a few different options now. You can select yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days, last 90 days. So you're able to select up to 90 days of data. If you select 30 days, it will be 30 days, not just 28. If you select 90, it will be the full 90 days as well. Now, in addition to these kind of set pre-made date ranges here, you can also select custom date ranges. So if I wanted to say, you know, I want the first 2 weeks of November for my report, I could come in, select November 1st, come through and select November 15th, oops, over here, select November 15th, and filter my report. Now, as it updates, we'll notice that my date range is going to change. So I can see that this module is now showing me data from November 1st to November 15th, which is awesome. That's another update that was made. Is previously this showed like the time frame, meaning 28 days, whereas now it actually does give you the date to show exactly the date range that your metrics are for, which hopefully should be helpful when reviewing this with your team and clients. Now, with the date range, just one thing that I wanted to note is if you come in here to filter date, you'll notice that if I come back to December, I can't select today. So today is the 9th. I can't actually select the day. And that's thinking about one of the reasons we updated this was we want to make sure this information is accurate for you. So because of that, you'll only be able to select yesterday and backwards. You won't be able to select today. If we allowed you to select today, we wouldn't be providing full metrics from today because we don't have those yet, right? Today isn't over. So we just want to make sure that we're giving you accurate information, which is why you will not be able to select the current day. It'll just be from yesterday and back. Awesome. Now, thinking about just real quick, actually, before I jump into the next update, I just wanted to go through this report. Again, this is just a test account, right? So there's not going to be a bunch of data, but I just wanted to show you some of the date ranges that you'll see here. And we're going to talk about previous period in a little bit as well, but so you'll just be able to come in and see the different dates based on my filter that I've set. So now the next thing that I did want to talk about is another update that we've made, which is really around the modules in what you're looking at. So here I have Facebook activity overview, and I can see post impressions, page reach, post engagement, page consumptions. Now this part of the update is related to renaming some of the modules and the metrics to better align with Facebook Insights and to make it easier to consume or understand the data that you're looking at. So there's been quite a few areas that have been renamed in the report, and I'm not going to dive through every single one of them, but just looking at one option here, again, is the Facebook overview. So where you see post impressions, this used to say, I believe it was just impressions previously, where it now shows is page reach. It used to be total reach, and post engagements and post engagement. So that one did remain the same there. Just a couple areas that we updated. Audience growth has been renamed to page audience growth. Post by day has been named by post per day. So some of them are just little renames, but really it's meant to better align with Facebook. So when you're looking at this, you're able to say, okay, I understand what this means. Now this makes sense for the metric. So quite a few different link names in here. Now, since I didn't go through all of the different metrics that have been renamed, what I'm going to do is once I go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can jump into questions, I'm going to link over an article which will include a list of all of the metrics that have been renamed. That way you have that fully so that we can go through and you can look at it as needed and you have that information. Now, the next area that I wanted to talk about that we did update is related to these little information icons that you're seeing. So throughout your Facebook Quick Report, you're now going to have tooltips, which is so cool because you can actually come in here. If you just hover over the information icon, it's going to give you like an overview of the metric that you're looking at. So what is post impressions? What does that represent? What does that mean? Well, if I come again over here and I just hover over, it's going to tell me the number of times your pages post, entered a person's screen, and go on from there. So you'll notice as you go through this report that these tooltips are going to be throughout the report where you can come in and look at a specific metric. If you're like, what does paid impressions versus follower impressions mean? You can use these tooltips to get that information. So that is super helpful to have there. Now, as I was scrolling through this report, there was an additional thing that you may have saw where it says Sendible metric. This is part of that update as well, where we have now identified if there is a metric that is being from us, so it's generated by Sendible versus generated by Facebook. So what we mean by that is that we just want to highlight that if it's a Sendible metric, there's possibility that it could be a discrepancy versus what you're looking at Facebook, because it's not coming from the Facebook metric specifically, it's actually ours that we generated for you. So you'll notice that that's going to be on 3 different metrics. So here under publishing behavior, post per day, best time to post. And then the other one is going to be engaged user. So I'm actually going to scroll down here because I did want to show this, which is awesome. So engaged user Sendible metric. Now, one of the reasons that I specifically chose this report to show today is I wanted to highlight here under demographics, where you'll see I'm getting an alert. It's grayed out, right? So I don't see any data here. And I have an alert here. And what we've done is we updated some of the messaging around these metrics, and if you're not able to pull in data. And so this is an example of one of those, whereas there isn't enough engagement for this specific metric for us to provide you the data on it. So you'll see we're notifying you that Facebook requires at least 100 engaged users to show data. Possibly, if you look at a longer date range, maybe we would be able to go ahead and do that. So this is very helpful to see as well. Now, Sarah's going to come on, and when she gets on, she may talk about this a little bit as well, that if a profile is disconnected, it may need to be reconnected. We'll also identify that here for you if it does need to be reconnected. So you know that's one of the reasons that we're not able to generate this report for you. Now, another thing that I want to go through is the report guide. So this is something that's available on the different quick reports here. Just 1 second. Can you guys still hear me okay? I've got some background noise. Let me check the chat, make sure. Perfect, looks like everything's okay. Yeah, awesome, thank you guys. Never know, cool. So let me just go ahead and jump back in. Perfect, so last area I'm gonna jump into before we do questions. I said the report guide. So what this is each one of our quick reports, right? So there's kind of like pre-bill or generated reports that you have access to within the Reports hub. Each one of them is going to have a guide to it. Now, it previously, you probably heard us call it a cheat sheet. The Facebook one has been updated, and you'll see it says report guide here. So because we updated this Facebook quick report, we have also updated the report guide. If I open this, what it's going to do in a new tab is it's going to go ahead and link me out. You guys can't see that, can you? 1 second. Let me share. I'm just going to share that guide really quick because it's awesome. So this is that report guide that I was just mentioning about. So it just opened up right in a new tab, linked me out to it. So I'm still logged into my account, but this is just easy for me to access. And what this is it farther breaks down that quick report that I'm looking at. So while we have those tooltips, super awesome, here's a full guide that also breaks down the metrics and the modules. And again, this has been updated to match the updates and the renames of the modules that you see. So you'll even see like where it says Sendible metrics still on the guide. So that's awesome. But this can be really handy as you're starting to think about Facebook reporting or even these updates that we've made, comparing things to Facebook Insights, anything like that. It can be really helpful to use this guide as a baseline to go through and say, what is this metric? What am I looking at? What is this report? Sometimes I also find that if you're working with clients, having a client have this guide can be really helpful for them as well, because then they're able to see what the metrics mean as well. So just extra context for them as you're sharing results with them. Awesome. So I believe that was everything that I did want to cover today. As I mentioned, I am going to go ahead. Let me stop sharing. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to link in a article for you, which we have made that's on our help desk. And what that is it goes through all the updates that I just mentioned, but it also breaks out all of the renames that we did. So I mentioned I didn't touch on every rename. This guide or article, sorry, will do so. So let me just link that out for you. And I will ask if we can go ahead and have Sarah join us. We will be able to jump into those questions. I heard some questions come through. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Heather. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you so much, Heather, for going through all of that great information. I see we have quite a few questions over here. So I will start with Brenda. Brenda, that's a really good question. So Brenda has asked, is there a reason why we can't get data from longer for Facebook? For example, for the calendar year, I'm doing an executive summary for socials and need data for the year. It seems I can do longer date ranges for Twitter. So Brenda, that's an excellent question. However, with regards to like API restrictions, how third parties communicate with social sites, they put some restrictions on us. So currently at this time, they don't allow us to do an annual reporting. The furthest we can do at this time is 3 months. 90 days. However, that's definitely a great idea, and some other users have already requested this on our feature ideas portal. So if you maybe want to add your vote to that particular idea, and we can definitely see how we can implement that into Sendible. So the address is feedback.sendible.com. Okay, and then let's go to Greg. So Greg has asked, in the Creator Studio, we can narrow it down to specific post insights. Is there a plan to get that specific, or just to keep it more in general? Good question, Greg. Currently, we don't have a module that narrows it down to specific post insights. However, we do have a module called Top Posts. So that is where we will sort of kind of break it down as your top posts. I don't know if we have a plan to get that right now, but again, you can also provide your feedback in our feature ideas portal, which again is feedback.sendible.com. And we really do look at that. It's not that it goes into a black hole and somebody ignores it. We actually look at it and we take it very seriously. And the more votes you get, Sendible will definitely be looking to implement that. And then Jackie has asked, are you working on putting LinkedIn profile, personal, not company data into reports? Jackie, we'd really, really love to do that if LinkedIn has until such time as LinkedIn allows us to do that, but they have restricted us in doing that. Again, we also have quite a few users that have asked that, and I can just imagine how important that is to you. So again, we have it in our feature ideas portal, which is feedback.sendible.com, and you can upvote on that particular request. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So what I would then do is I'll walk through some other little top tips that I wanted to discuss today because we don't have any other questions. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So I'm hoping you can see my screen. So at this time, you're now able to add more than one Facebook page profile when pulling a Facebook quick report. And this will definitely allow us to pull in more accurate data. So for example, you can see that I've added two profiles over here. And of course, you can add multiple and we'll pull all the accurate data for the particular profiles that you list over here. One thing I wanted to mention though is, let's say a profile is disconnected and you wanted to generate a report. The system will actually provide you with a little notification letting you know that that particular account has been excluded from the report and that it needs to be reconnected. So as you can see over here, the other thing that I wanted to touch on was let's say, for example, don't have enough data. So for example, in demographics, I don't have 100 engaged users on my test profile. So Sendible will actually let you know that Facebook requires at least 100 engaged users for the data to show, and they'll say select a long time period or come back later. And in this area here, it says there's not enough data, please check back later. Then if the profile is disconnected or they require for you to do a reconnection and a particular module is not pulling through, the system again will let you know. They will in fact state, hey, reconnect your profile and check after 24 hours to see if the data is pulling through. Okay, there was another thing that I wanted to mention. So it's sort of like a top tip. So you can use Facebook geo-targeting to target certain demographics in different locations if you weren't aware of that. And how to do that, you would then come over to profiles, my profiles, and go to your specific Facebook page in question. So let me use this one, for example. Over here, you can see that there's an area where it says geo-targeting, and this allows you to actually edit it to a specific country or area in a country. So just to show you, I'll come over here and click onto edit. And here's a drop down of all type of countries that you can specifically select. So you can do that, which is great. Then also, just another tip, at this time, sadly, you can't schedule Facebook ads, but if that becomes available to us via the API, we will definitely implement it. However, we do track paid likes. So let me see if there are any other questions.
It doesn't look like.
Okay. Oops, let's see. Oh, okay. Maggie has asked a question. Hi, Maggie. So with adding Facebook profiles to report, can you modify an existing saved report, or does it have to generate a new report? So Maggie, I'm thinking that you are perhaps speaking to our custom reports, if that's what you mean. If that is what you mean, you can definitely modify it. So if you had to come over to, let's say you're going to save your quick report as a custom report. So you'll come over here. Oh, let me see if there's something added on. Oh, okay. Thank you, Maggie, for saying that. Okay, yes. So with regards to a quick report, you can definitely save it like this, let's say, and you can definitely edit it. So if you mean edit in the sense whereby if you want to maybe add another module or, that type of thing, then you definitely can do that. So you could add a module like this if you wanted to edit it. Facebook, let's see. So here you have the ability to add any other module that you want to add, etc. You basically have the same ability in the quick report whereby you can select and filter the date, as Heather mentioned, and you can add any other module that you'd like to add to your customized report.
Awesome. And just to add to that, Maggie, hi, Maggie. I know sometimes the question comes up, once you generate the quick report and you add a profile and then you save it, right? So it's under my saved reports, as Sarah had just shown. Once you do that, that report is associated with that profile. So you can go in and add more modules associated with other profiles if you wish. But if you wanted that full report that you've just saved to be run on a completely different profile and all of the other profiles modules removed, you will need to generate the new report by going to the quick report, clicking the new profile, generating and saving it. You can't take your saved report and say, okay, remove this profile and add in this profile, other than deleting all the modules and adding in new modules. So I hope that makes sense and helps to clarify a little bit more. Maggie, let me know if not.
Okay, she said yes. Thank you, Heather.
Perfect. And then just one other thing that I don't think has come up as a question yet, but if you had reports saved prior to when we updated Facebook reporting or Facebook Quick Report last week, I've gotten the question quite a bit is, will my previously saved reports update? And the answer is yes. Any of your reports that have been saved and have modules associated with the Facebook Quick Report will automatically update. So you can go back to that report, and when you pull it open, it's going to be updated. There's nothing you need to do for that. Now, of course, if you want to pull it on a different profile, you would just go to the quick report, as I mentioned, and regenerate with a different profile. Awesome. Any other questions? Oh, I did want to go back. Sorry, just Greg, there was a question. I forget who asked that. I'm so sorry. Someone had asked a question around the date ranges. Can we pull a year? And Sarah had mentioned we can only pull 90 days of data at a time. And Greg, I see that you had mentioned that you were able to pull it for a year. If you try to pull data within Sendible, the Facebook report, the Facebook Quick Report, for longer than a 90-day time period, it is going to alert you. You're going to get a notification that the date range is too long, and you need to select a date range for 90 days or less. Now, it's possible if you're in Facebook Insights that you've been able to pull that maybe, but within Sendible, you should get an alert that you will only be able to get it for 90 days. So I just wanted to clarify there. And Brenda, yes, I see that as well. The 90 days. I can show you guys, just since we're talking about quickly what that looks like. I've just pulled it up. Give me 1 second to get back into it really quick. So this is what I'm talking about here. If I'm in my Facebook Quick Report and I go to pull, right, I try to do like a year or a little bit less, the base today. So you'll see you get a notification 90 days or less. And that's where that notification will come from. So we do try to at least tell you that you can only do it for 90 days. So then you can come up and select the 90 days that you're looking for.
Yeah, and Heather, just to mention, we only guarantee the 90 days. So if you are pulling a longer period, your data might be skewed, and we are not able to guarantee that.
Awesome. Greg, thank you for clarifying. Yes, perfect. Awesome. Any other questions? I don't see anything else coming through. I hope everyone is loving the updates. We would love to hear your feedback on what you think about them. As I mentioned, this is something that we have been wanting to do for a long time, and is definitely something that we hope you guys find value in. So any feedback you have, you can always share that with us. If you have a contact at Sendible, you can share it with them. You can always email our success team as well, just at success@sendible.com with any initial feedback that you have. And that would be awesome. If you just go back through the chat, you'll see that there's a couple different items linked. The article around the update, all of the different renames that we've done, talks about those timeframes as well. And then also Peter had added in a link to our feature ideas portal where you can submit different feature requests or ideas over to our product and development team. And then just to close everything out, if you're not aware, we do hold these sessions every week. So we do them on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. GMT, and we try to keep them to 30 minutes. We're right on our mark now to keep them short and efficient for you so that you can attend. But we spend the first 15 minutes going through a specific area and then open it up for Q&A. So we'd love to have you continue to join us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Just a note on that, we will take a break over the Christmas and New Year holiday. And so next week will be our last one for 2021, crazy. And then we'll resume again in January of 2022. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a good day. And if we don't see you next week, great holidays. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye.